We are live. I've just had a little message come through on my phone that says Facebook has just stopped the broadcast. So I'm just going to check on my phone. If it's not, it should be over on YouTube. Every week there is something technical, and it's always nice to be kept on your toes at the very last minute before the start of a show. So let me just double check on this. The YouTube link is working. Let me see that. We shall find that. Oh, that appears to be working. Oh, that appears to be. It's there. We are okay. Guys, if you can see me, then say hello. Yep, that's there. There. Brilliant. I'm watching on Facebook. Oh, brilliant. Well, I don't know what that's about. So, working here in Canada. Brilliant. I must admit, I'm cold, but it must be freezing in Canada at the moment. So that's Richard Cole, that hypnotist guy. Guys, we bring you hypnotists from around the world. We've brought you the best that stage hypnosis has to offer, and we've got some great guests coming up as well. Tonight's guest is from the sunny part of the world. He is from the United Kingdom. He is from England. He is from down south I believe he's from London. So he's a proper southerner. He is a stage and street hypnotist, which is quite interesting here in the UK because we have some rules and regulations about that, but we'll talk to him about that in a moment. So please, if you have any questions, get ready to ask those questions and those comments. So I'm going to play this graphic on the other side. Please make our guest feel very welcome. We have the one and only Dylan Lovegrove.
Hey.
There we go.
That's right.
I hope get the sides wrong. So yeah, Dylan, how are you?
Oh, I'm good, my friend. I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right, just about. I'll say every week there's something technical that happens, and just as I pressed the button to go live, then it brought up an error on my screen saying Facebook has disconnected your stream. Please check the terms of service. Facebook at the moment for live streaming is a nightmare. Anything that has any type of music in, it cuts it off. It can be, it's just a nightmare. They've had a recent update, and since that update, it's just nothing but issues and problems. So hopefully they'll figure that out. But anyway, we are live here on Facebook and over on YouTube. And if you're watching over on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button. But most importantly, please make our guests feel very welcome. Let us know if you're watching where you are from in the world as well, so Dylan knows where you are. And we have a couple of hellos. Jason Nobby Morgan says, knock, knock. Who's there, Jason? He generally tells a Welsh joke. I've got a great Welsh joke, but I can't tell it. It's not live. But I will let Jason know it at some point.
PG.
Exactly, yeah. Natasha Stanley saying, loving the sign. I got myself, I don't know if you can see this, I treated myself to an old circus freak show sign.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, so I kind of thought, I've got no work in, we're in lockdown, go spend some money.
That's it, yeah. Just grab it while it's there, isn't it?
Yeah, Jason Simmons is here as well. Tom Kavanagh says hello. And the hypnotist guy has already said he's working here from Canada. So, Dylan, welcome to the show. I know you've been watching some of the shows as well. And I know you are a active performing UK stage hypnotist, which is so important because there's not actually that many UK hypnotists that are out there treading the boards kind of pre-COVID. So what was your first experience with stage hypnosis? How did you learn about hypnosis? How did you get into hypnosis?
Right. So started about 5-6 years ago, and it was my partner that actually got involved in hypnosis first. She went on a course because she was struggling with some bereavement from her dad passing. So she done hypnosis herself with the therapy side. And it was really effective, really powerful. She had a profound effect with it. And she went on a course, and she done this course in London and came back, and she done like a rapid. She learnt a rapids on this weekend course. So cool. She wanted to, as most hypnotists want to do, they want to test it out, right? And I was the guinea pig. So it was her sister's house, and all the kids are running around screaming and fighting. And she got me to put my hands together, look at my thumb, and said, okay, like, now think about your phone number. Now think about it backwards. And she's done all these things. The next thing, sleep. That's it. I'm hypnotized, right? This is my first experience. And she said a couple of things, 1, 2, 3, eyes open and awake. And I remember first looking at her sister, and her sister was like, you know, couldn't believe it. Like, what just happened there? So I was just like, wow, that was real. You know, that just happened. And that was it. That's where my first sort of my own personal experience of it happened. So that's when I got really hooked. Because I remember watching Paul McKenna years ago, and that was all fascinating. But then that was it. It was sort of, you just saw that, it was amazing. You didn't think anything of it from yourself, your own personal experience. So yeah, that was my first. And I went to London, and I've done some courses with Rory Z training in London, which is where I met Jason Simmons as well. And yeah, so it sort of blossomed from there. That's how it sort of continued from there, like, you know.
It's so important what you said then, though, about that first experiences was being hypnotized. There's quite a lot of people that do come into this field. You get a lot of hypnotherapists inquiring about stage hypnosis stuff, but have never seen a stage hypnosis show. And I think one of the most important things to understand hypnosis is you've got to be hypnotized. You've got to experience it, so that you kind of know what the volunteers are going through. Yeah,
100%. Yeah, totally agree. And someone actually said that to me when I started getting more into about 2 years down the line, or a year and a half down the line. Someone actually said to me after I'd done a show at someone's house, just to sort of, you know, as a little favour, as for friends.
Yeah.
And they said, well, have you ever been hypnotized? I said, yeah, I've been hypnotized many times. And they said, no, have you been in a show? And I went, well, no. And then I thought, well, do you know what? I'm better sort of looking into doing that, getting volunteering and becoming. And then I went to Mark Savard in Vegas, and I happened to be the star of the show there. That was a cool experience. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. I mean, Mark's a, you know, standout, phenomenal stage hypnotist. You know, is one of the elite within the industry.
Totally.
Interesting. Then you said about house parties. I mean, that was kind of, I used to love. I don't do so many of them now, but I used to love doing house parties because they're quite intimate and they're quite challenging in that sense, because everybody kind of knows everybody that's there.
Yeah.
So it does make it a bit more of a challenge, but you can have some really nice intimate shows in that sense. So yes, you've done the training. What was your next thing? Where did you go to? What did you do?
Yeah, so after the training, learned how to do rapids, and you sort of get a class full of people, as you know, and you sort of practice on each other. And then it was, like I say, with Rory Z. So Rory was like, okay, right, now you go out in the big wide world and practice on people.
Yeah.
I was nervous, but I was really, really intrigued to find out how this works. And, you know, and I remember doing it on, I believe it was my cousin, first time, was with one of my cousins, and it just worked brilliant. She happened to be, you know, like when you get one of them subjects that really make you think, wow, if I had like 10 of you every time I'd done a show. She was one of them, and she was great. And she also had hypnotic amnesia, which sealed the deal with the belief system, because I got her to do a skit where she was laughing so much she was crying. So when I got her out of hypnosis, she kind of like opened her eyes, said, oh, have I been crying? She was confused, like, that's what happened. She had the amnesia. And so she was great, and that really inspired me and gave me that boost to try it further, go to the next level. So we went to London and started doing it to people in the street.
Yes.
The next stage. Yeah.
I mean, street hypnosis is it's fascinating. I can see people ready on the keyboards already now. Street hypnosis, for those that watch in America or Canada or around the world, in the UK we have what's called the 1952 Hypnotism Act, which and I've got into heated debates with people online about this, and it's a weird thing, because I remember somebody was saying to me, yeah, but you know, you can get around it by doing this, you can get around it by doing that, and you can get around it by doing this. And I go, you know what, you're right. When it comes to, I mean, we're talking about the 52 Act when it comes to stage shows. And my argument's always been, it's fairly easy to get consent from a council in the UK. It's a bit of a ball ache, but for doing a show, it's fairly easy. And even though I could say to my booker, yes, you don't need to get consent, you can do it this and you can do it that and you can do it this way around, how that looks to my booker makes me look a bit shady. So I've always been like, for stage shows, you know, it's easy enough to do it, and it does stop cowboys from getting into the industry as such. But the reality is, we all know it doesn't hold that much weight. But if it encourages people to stay within the guidelines of common sense, then it's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Street stuff.
Yeah.
Street stuff. I have a love-hate relationship with it.
Yeah.
I think everyone should know how to do. Everyone, as in hypnotherapist, stage hypnotist, people that are in this field, should know and understand how to do impromptu demonstrations of hypnosis. Street,
100%.
rapids. That stuff that when people come up to you at a party and say, "Can you do this?" you should be able to do it, because that's the best advert for what you do.
Yeah, for sure.
Love it. I also understand the other argument to it, and from a working professional point of view, my fear has always been somebody sees a street demonstration on YouTube and goes, "Oh, that's what you need to do." So without the proper training, which you've got, without the proper training, they go out, try and drop somebody, do magnetic fingers into a drop back, they hypnotize them, the person has an ab reaction, jumps into the Thames and drowns. I mean, that's very dramatic.
That's worst case scenario.
Exactly. But then it becomes all hypnosis is bad then. So I kind of get that. I think everyone should know how to do it, but everyone should know how to do it safely.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean that's the greatest thing with when you learn with Rory Z's training, and with people who go to good trainers, they teach you first the safety aspects of it. You've got to learn. You can't just fiddle about with people's minds. You've got to be doing it with the right intention for their safety. It has to be done. So you ask them the questions, don't you? Certain questions you ask, and just make sure there's no injuries or psychological issues. Don't suffer depression, and your health is in pretty good order. And if they say no to any of them, then you sort of, well, for this time around, it doesn't mean you can't be hypnotized, sir, madam. It just means that, I won't be using you for this demonstration. So, because you don't want them to feel bad and think, oh, well, I can't be hypnotized. Just, you don't want to go down that road with them. They can do it with someone who's going to be in a therapeutic setting.
Yeah. But then on the other side, I do think the street stuff has quite a profound effect, because when people see a stage show, the most common thing I get told, and you'll be told this as well, is people go, "Oh yeah, but you've brought those people here. These people are with you. These people you hired to do this stuff." Yeah. In an impromptu setting, that person sees that person this close being hypnotized. So it does have a really big, profound effect.
Yeah, that's it, exactly. And that's our job, isn't it? Is to make sure that people walk away, if they start off skeptical, that they walk away with that belief. That's our job, is to make sure that people get them, or even at least they don't have to believe, but have that curiosity to think, well, that was different. I've never seen Gary, James, Michael, whoever act like that. That was, it gives them that sort of curiosity, and then they can go further with that if they wish to.
Exactly. I also think sometimes the skeptics make the best subjects sometimes, especially if they've seen something that just chips away at their belief system and what's possible. It does have a great effect. So that's all the caveats for street hypnosis out of the way. I'm sure doing street stuff, I mean, we've got a clip that we'll show in a minute on the South Bank in London, which is it's a cool place to do that. Because it's the South Bank, you've got lots of street performers there anyway. You've got people that are kind of looking to be entertained while still moseying about doing their own thing. Tell me about that. You must have faced some challenges doing that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, one of the biggest challenges I find on the South Bank is looking for someone who's sort of, you can speak to people, a lot of them are foreign. So you get the issue of the language barrier. Because obviously language is everything with hypnosis. People need to understand what you say. So I find that when you could ask about 20 people, and 17 of them could be Polish and, Ukrainian or wherever. So it can be that, you'll say, "Oh, hi, my name's Dylan Lovegrove. I'm a hypnotist. You guys interested in hypnosis?" And they sort of can look at you with a bit of because their belief systems are also different to ours as well. So, so that's one of the issues that you have. And then, of course, when you do hypnosis with someone who volunteers and said, they're going to go for it, the language barrier isn't an issue. You then got to think about what sort of level is this person at? What degree of how hypnotizable are these people? So then you've got that to go with. So if you've got a crowd of people around you, the pressure's on. It's, you've got to perform and do something and hope that this person is going to be a good subject,
A couple of points here as well. John Lawson says people don't understand the power of hypnosis. He's a clinical hypnotherapist, and he's right. Skeptical clients are the ones that respond the best. And Julie Webb Morgan says, Dylan, your shows are funny, amazing, and a real showman.
Oh, lovely. Hey, Julie.
Yeah, it's a great comment, that as well. Stage hypnosis is about being a showman. The hypnosis is a tiny part of that. And when you say then about the street stuff, one of the things I love about the impromptu demonstrations of hypnosis is, as a stage performer, I know I've a certain few things. If they don't work on that particular person for whatever reason, you know, they're gone. The audience has seen that. In street stuff or impromptu stuff, not street stuff.
Careful. Yeah.
My insurance doesn't cover me for street stuff, but impromptu demonstrations. Impromptu demonstrations. What I've found that you can do magnetic fingers. You can get them with the head forward, and people around will go, "Oh wow, did you see that?" And what is tiny? There's even real phenomena. The rest of the audience or the people standing by watching see that, which kind of gets that wedge in the door, and then the next person just goes so deep, it's unbelievable. So I think it teaches you to have an out. It's, you know, you learn to kind of think on your feet and work with what you've got, and then use that leverage for other people. Yeah,
absolutely, 100%. And that, you know, as you go along, you know, you need to get that. If you see someone who's reacting with suggestibility tests in a positive way and they're responding, they're the ones you've got to go for first. And like you say, exactly that. Then if they go, then their friends are, whoa, the believability's there, and you're in that chain reaction, which hopefully will get the next one going. Normally does as well.
Yeah. I always say it's like juggling chainsaws that's on fire. Do you know what I mean?
That's a great description.
Yeah. And you're like, literally, you're checking everything, the safety, all the things that's going on, and then at the same time calibrating the volunteers to make sure they're where you want them to be. And then you get 10 minutes into it, and then you can relax a little bit.
Yeah, totally, 100%. Yeah, agreed.
Richard, great question, Richard. And this comes up quite a bit. How can you monetize the street stuff?
Oh, yeah. It's a great, I've never really thought of it. Street stuff to me has always been practice and publicity use. So I suppose you could use it for a publicity side of it, to, you know, get some videos out there, and that way.
I've done it a couple of times at trade shows, which is a great, almost like a walk around type act. And I know of other people that sell it at festivals. So they sell it as a walk around act. So that's another way of, and I think Justin James in the States, he sells it as a walk around act as well at festivals. So get the right venue or the right booker, then you can monetize it a little bit. But like you said, it's impromptu demonstrations are more about profile raising, and, you know, especially if you've got a therapy practice, it's a great way of like at networking events, doing a demonstration, handing out some cards. Great to put some positive suggestions on the holding of a business card as well. So every time they hold that card, it fills them with feelings of stuff.
That's nice. Yeah, nice. I like that. Good touch.
Yeah.
Where's my pen and paper in a minute?
So how long were you doing street? How did you make the transition from street to stage, and what challenges did that bring?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, I kind of got quite comfortable with the street stuff. So some people it's the other way around, but I suppose if whatever you practice at, if you sort of feel like you're mastering it, that's when you get comfortable, right? Yeah. So I started in around about May of 2015 with doing the street stuff, and my first show was of December. So it was like 6-7 months of practicing the street stuff, and I was loving it. I was literally asking anyone and everyone. It was just randomly asking people, and you know, it was just felt good. And if the thing was, what I found, what I used to do, was that if someone wasn't responding well, if, like, you know, I just do the magnetic fingers, and I just get them into going to hypnosis, and just get them experience hypnosis, just a relaxation, just tell them to feel relaxed down to the top, and then get them to wake up, and that was it. Because then, you know, if you've got a subject that ain't responding as good as the others, as ones you want, you can make yourself look crap if you try and get them to do, you know, a sort of invisible skit or, you know, whatever you're trying to get them to do. So it's always best, I think, just to leave them where they are comfortable at. Don't go further.
Yeah.
But yeah, so to answer your question, December was when it was, and the transition from going to doing stage, I remember doing some stuff at home in this place here. Actually, I had like a little practice version of having 5 or 6 people in the front room, and I bought a cheap microphone and a headset, you know. So I practiced doing the shows indoors, and it felt strange, but I knew I had to do it because I wanted to be a stage hypnotist, and you can't just do that being a street hypnotist. You have to go to the next level.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit uncomfortable, but it was, the main thing was I found was that doing the rapids, because obviously when you do street stuff, you do fast hypnosis, like sleep, bang, put the head down, and they're in. So if you do it on a stage, you've got like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people. It can be a bit boring for the audience, maybe. So you need to do progressive. You need to do some different techniques, right?
Yes. I found, weirdly, that rapids and instants can take longer than a progressive when you've got a stage full of people. Because weirdly, you go to each individual person and do them. Whereas sometimes if you do a bit of a progressive on the whole committee, it can take less time, if you know what I mean. Depends on how many people you've got up there. And I think it works with the belief system of the audience. Sometimes, I mean, it's always nice to do, especially if you do at least one instant, because it just has such a dramatic effect.
Yeah.
But the audience, I like them to see the people on the journey that they're going, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So it's nice for them to see them, those that struggle with the suggestion, and see them going down, because you get them going, oh, look, they're going to go. So it's nice to have that as well. Whereas instance it's too quick sometimes for an audience to just understand what's going on stage.
Yeah, so, for sure. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, totally. It's nice to give them that, like you say, that gentle, because if you ever do editing on your videos, it's great to, if you like fast forward your inductions, it's really cool to see their heads go from that to that to that to like that. If you fast forward it, and you can see it happen really quickly. And obviously, when you do a show, that's what the audience is seeing in a bit of a slower pace, which is great. Yeah, it's really effective.
I think audiences have moved on over the years as well. Whereas it used to be hypnotize them and make them do something stupid. I think people now, because of Darren Brown, because of programs like The Mentalist, people have a more curiosity of the psychology of a stage hypnosis show now.
Yeah.
The induction is almost as entertaining for the audience as making them believe the ballerinas or something like that. So yeah, you're right,
because with that as well, you find now that you don't, like, hypnotists used to come on as this sort of mesmerism, come on and it'd be like this, you know, in this cape and shit, oh, I am the hypnotist, ooh. But you don't need that no more. You sort of come on and just be like, hey, you know, hypnosis is natural, it's real, it's da-da-da-da, and I'd be a bit more, don't have to sort of give this persona of being, you know, this mystical, you know, lives in the mountains, only comes out once a week kind of person, you know?
Well, I live on the Pennines. It's like the mountains. I must admit, I've you know, lockdown, I started to grow a beard. And now when I look back at all my previous promo stuff and all my videos, when I just had the little soul patch thing, I look at it now and go, God, that's terrible. That's terrible. what were you thinking? So that is not coming back.
Right. We've always got to look at our past videos and think stuff like that. I mean, oh, why did I do it like that? What was I thinking?
I mean, I must admit, I think stage hypnosis and the marketing of what we do is about perception. It is about image. And it's so important to look good on stage. It's so important to dress well, to sound well. All these things are a suggestion that make a successful show. But I do love the migraine posters, which is the whole me head.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah.
But I mean, we've all done that. We've all done the hands. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's it. Was it?
That's the one. It is a suggestion in and of itself.
Yeah, it's giving the people what they suppose they perceive it to be, eh?
Oh, there you go. Someone's commenting saying it really was terrible. I think they're talking about my my little soul patch. Cheers.
Yeah, we can say it won't be coming back then, I suppose.
It won't be. I might get some beads and a plait on the end of it. I don't know.
Oh, lovely. Yes, Jamaican style. I like the side of that.
Yeah. Hey, back up on the migraine. There we go. There you go. Have a couple
Jason.
of Jason.
Yeah.
But you know what? It works on the suggestion because people see the poster, they see the image, and they know what it is.
Yeah, totally. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. You know, if you was on a poster holding a clipboard and pen, they're going to be confused, right? You know,
Yeah.
what's this guy? Who is it up north as well? Is it? I think it's Doc Brown. He's got a quite a funny look. He's dressed as a doctor. He has
Doc Strange.
Doc Strange, right?
Yeah. Doc Brown's from Back to the Future.
Back to the Future. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, there we go. Look, see, that's my kids installing it in my head. Yeah. Doc Strange. He's got a funny character about him.
Chris is a phenomenal stage hypnotist.
Yeah, he's brilliant. I've watched a lot of his stuff.
Yeah, his comedy is brilliant, which is what makes the show. But yeah, he wears the white coat, which is brilliant.
Yeah. He's pretty good. He is. I've seen a few of his videos on YouTube and that. You know. Yeah.
Yeah. What's that? Also a rapper.
Also a rapper.
I don't know. Maybe that's an in joke. Oh, Doc Brown.
Oh, yeah, the rapper Doc Brown, right?
Yeah, we're showing our age.
Another coffee. One more coffee. So, tell us about your worst stage show, the one that you learned the most, the biggest challenge. Oh, okay. Right. There's a few that I can remember thinking, that was an experience I don't want to go back to. They're all, none of them are failures. I think they're all feedback, right? That's what we say, isn't it?
There's no losing, only learning. Yeah,
totally. There was one I'd done in Reading. There was a show I'd done in Reading, and it was a club, a con club. And I went in there, and there was 2 bars, and there was loads of people in one bar, and they sent me to another bar next door, which had a big old dance floor, and I was setting up there. So I thought, great, because the guy said to me, what they're going to do is they're going to get to about 8 o'clock, and they're all going to come in here. Brilliant, no problem. That sounds great. So I set all the chairs up at the end, and it's fairly long. You can imagine it was like, say, the size of half size of a football pitch by another half, right? So it's about that big in length, in the sort of length that it was. So I've set up the chairs, got the speakers all done, all set up. Everything was ready to go. And then it got to 8 o'clock, and then there's a bell rung. Ladies and gentlemen, hypnosis show next door is about to start. So I'm ready. I've got all my equipment ready. So what happened was there was only a table right at the very end, 2 tables there was of a load of old ladies, and then the other table was a couple of gents who lasted about, I think, 2 minutes and then went out. But I did get volunteers, right? I did get 4 or 5 volunteers. So what happened was these people came up and I was left with only 2. Okay, so I had 5 and I was left with 2 volunteers, which to me, I was still thinking, well, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
The problem with this show was that the audience were at the other side of this long end of this room. So I was doing skits down at this end of this hall, and all the audience were down there. And it was like, I literally ended up bringing the show forward, but I was doing it gradually. I was like bringing the chairs a bit closer and then bringing them. And then I was doing skits where they went over to the audience, and there was people still next door in the bar. So I tried to get them involved in there, going in there, and people in the bar were like, what are you doing in here? They was all hypnotized, and I was getting them to, ask for toilet roll because they've just crapped their pants or something. It was really tough, and it was a struggle. I barely squeezed the show, just about got away with it. But I think I went away sort of just going, that was awful. Didn't want none of that.
People don't realise that there's, and it's one of the lessons I learned first time doing a big stage. But there was a massive gap between the stage and the audience. So there was like a stage, a dance floor, then some booths, and then the audience. And I've done this venue before, but it had seating all the way up to the stage previously. You've come out, and that gap between you and the show and the audience, it could be a million miles, because they need to see what's going on. They need to be involved. The further away the audience is, the more difficult it becomes to get that energy.
Yeah, totally. I mean, the thing about that was as well is that when I was there, I was actually thinking, I was confident because I felt it was going to be a good one. There was so many people in the other bar, Like, it was about, I don't know, 80 or 90 people. And I thought, great, they're all going to come piling in. And I had about, 15 chairs set up. I was so confident. And that's what made it worse, because I was just deflated. Like, oh, no. Really had to...
There's something about them moments before a show starts.
Yeah.
Where you look in the audience, and I try and evaluate everything. And you look and you kind of go, oh, that's going to be a problem. That's going to be a problem. And you look and you see all the issues. And then other times, like you say, you go, smash this one. It's going to be brilliant. And then all of a sudden something left of center happens and you're like, what? So,
Where did that come from? I did not see that coming.
Also, Charlene is saying, I'm looking good. So I'll take that.
Hey.
Brilliant. So that's one of your most challenging shows. What's your favorite show to date?
I think my favorite. Okay, so this one was very challenging, but is also my favorite. Funny enough, Charlene was at this one, and she actually volunteered for this show. Funny enough, because they'd done a convention, the first convention in London, and it was, I think it was, when was it? October 2016.
Yes.
And luckily, I got. I'm friends with Dr. Kate Bevanmarks, and she spoke to Nick Ebden, and he was running it at the time. He was like running things at the time. So she asked, "Oh, we got this new hypnotist guy. I'd be really interested in getting involved." So I was like, "Yeah, okay. If you think I could get a chance to do it, fantastic." So he done a little poll, asked people, do people agree? And they said, "Yeah, fine." So I'd gone from my first show in 2015. To doing a show in front of James Tripp and Anthony Jacquin and all these great big names, with Rory Z and everyone was there, and I'm doing a show in front of these people. Not only that, but I also planned that night, without my partner knowing, to propose to my partner as well after the show. So adding double pressure, or what? But it was brilliant, and Charlene was there, and Charlene was fantastic. She volunteered, and she was brilliant, and it went really well. One big hiccup we had that night was when we done it, the USB stick that I used to put and use, it had like a playlist of what was on the USB stick. Turns out this USB stick was the wrong one, and the playlist was completely wrong. So when I wanted the Grand National Horse Race, I actually had Justin Bieber playing. So it was like I had to do the Grand National. I was going dun 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 dun. My voice. It was awful, but we pulled it off, and I proposed to Chelsea, and it was all good. So it worked.
Oh, congratulations. A couple of comments here as well. Chelsea Morgan says the David Attenborough skit Dylan does is great audience participation. And Steve O'Hull says hello both. The point you made there about the USB stick not working is that you've got to be prepared for everything. And I've had things go wrong, and I'm pleased that there is, and hopefully there isn't any footage, but as far as I'm aware, there's no footage. But I always end my show with a voodoo monkey, and I do it quite nicely. We do some stuff and slowly lower them down to the floor, which is my twist on that, which I think is a really nice way of doing it. I remember being at that point of the show for a booker that books me for quite a lot. It's a great show. And at that point, I realized, oh shit, my monkey's in the car.
Oh, no.
So I've got to make that decision that what do I do? You know, do I change the end of the show like in that instant? Or do I make myself the voodoo monkey and I'm the one doing the silly dancing?
Nice.
Look, like I say, touch wood. There is no footage out there anyway. I kind of thought I've got to do it to end this show well. But it was just afterwards, I remember sitting in the dressing room thinking to myself, what have you done? Why are you even thinking about doing that? So it's you've got to be prepared for everything. Have your music backed up, triplicate. So
excellent. And listeners, if anyone's got that footage, it's £500. Let us know. Oh no, that's class. That's brilliant. Yeah.
One of the things with smartphones being what they are now, it is to control how your show looks now is more difficult than it's ever been because there's people there with smartphones constantly. So if you make a mistake, it is documented. So even more so for people to get the right training as well.
Yeah, totally.
Whilst everyone's here as well, we've got a couple of minutes, about 3-minute clip of some street hypnosis on the South Bank, impromptu hypnosis on the South Bank.
Impromptu, right.
Done with the with the correct health and safety method statement, and all rules were complied with in the video.
Right, yeah, 100%.
We shall be back in a minute.
You'll notice in a moment, when your hands touch, you will fall into a wonderful state of relaxation, hypnosis, even deeper than you were before. That's what you're going to find as these hands get closer and closer together and sleep. Relaxing. Allow yourself to drift down and down and down. As I rock you from left to right, you find yourself drifting down even more and more profoundly deeper than you were before. Left to right, allowing this wonderful moment to take you deeper. All the sounds around you that you hear, you will ignore. The only voice you can hear is mine, taking it deeper, deeper, deeper. Let every single muscle just relax. Enjoy the slowly of the process. That's right. As I take this arm now, once again we're going to drop that and go deeper. As I take this hand, as I drop this hand, you'll go even deeper. You are feeling wonderful, feeling relaxed, feeling absolutely fantastic. That's right. Now in a moment, what I'm going to say to you is, when I give the command sleep, you're going to fall back into a wonderful, even deeper feeling than you are now, hypnosis and trance. So when I give the command sleep, you will nod back straight into a wonderful state of hypnosis and trance. Once again, when I give the command sleep, you will fall back even deeper than you are now, in a wonderful state of trance. Nod your head if you understand. Very good. Okay, 1, 2, 3, eyes open, wide awake. Alright? Sleep, back down, drifting, dreaming, feeling wonderful, feeling fantastic. Allowing yourself to just drift and dream and feel wonderful in this moment. Letting every inch of your body take you deeper and deeper and deeper. 1, 2, 3, eyes open, wide awake. And sleep, back down, drifting, dreaming, feeling wonderful. 1, 2, 3, eyes open, wide awake. And sleep, back down, drifting, dreaming, feeling wonderful. Rocking left to right. Then every fibre of your body just go deeper and deeper and deeper. Allowing yourself to relax more. 1, 2, 3, eyes open, wide awake, and sleep. Back down, drifting, dreaming, feeling fantastic, feeling on top of the world. What you're going to notice now in a moment is, when you open your eyes, you'll find that your hands are super locked together. It's like you've got super glue stuck to your hands. They're super locked tight, binding, gluing. It's like your hands are one solid piece of wood, binded together, and you cannot move. No matter how hard you try, you're going to try and try, but the more you try, the more you fail. The more you try, the more you fail. But your hands are locked, super locked tight together. Nod your head if you understand. Okay, 1, 2, 3, eyes open, wide awake. Okay, how are you doing? You alright? How are them hands? They're super tight, man. Super locked, super tight. You open, you take apart, super tight, super locked. It's like there's super glue all trapped in between your fingers. And you just can't move it. You just can't move it. Sleep, drifting, dreaming all the way down, allowing your complete body to relax. Wonderful in this moment right now. What you're going to find is, though, when you open your eyes, you're going to find that your feet are completely and totally glued to the floor. It's like they're super glued to the floor. You just cannot move. How many times you try, you just cannot move your feet to the floor. It's like they're super glued to the floor. You cannot move your feet, no matter how hard you try. Nod your head if you understand. Fantastic. Right. Okay, mate, you just open your eyes. You just come here so I can stand here, mate. Is it right? Still, mate. It's fine. Okay. You alright? Can't move. Ah, no. I was going to give you 100 quid if you came here, but never mind. Right, okay, I tell you what, just sleep down. You're dreaming, feeling wonderful, feeling relaxed. Every touch, and I give you, makes you even deeper and deeper. More deeper. What you're going to find is in a moment, is in my hand, you're going to see a Lovegrove bottle. When you see this Lovegrove bottle, it's going to be the funniest thing you have ever seen. It's the most funniest, hilarious Lovegrove bottle you have ever seen. You don't know why, but this Lovegrove bottle is so funny, you cannot stop yourself from laughing. It's just so funny, super funny. Nod your head if you understand. Fantastic. 1, 2, 3, eyes open, by the way. You're doing, you're right. Have you seen that, lady? Have you seen that? I don't know why, though. It's quite fun, isn't it? To be fair. It's fun, isn't it? I'm going to take a drink from it. That's how fun it's doing. It's good, isn't it? It is good. Look. Lay on it with it. Right? That is good, isn't it? That is good. That is fantastic. Yeah? Is that cool? Yeah. Okay, we'll put it away. How do you feel now, alright? Alright, yeah? Yeah. Right now. Yeah? Yeah, we'll put that away. Right now. Nice. It is a funny drink. It does make you laugh as a drink. Right, sleep. Back down, drifting, dreaming, feeling wonderful, feeling relaxed, feeling fantastic. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to count to 1 to 5. When I count to 1 to 5, You're going to open your eyes and feel fantastic on top of the world.
There we go. Brilliant demonstration of impromptu hypnosis. Impromptu. Great use of the Lucozade bottle as well. So yeah, I always love the laughing skit as well. It's a great way to calibrate them because for me, on the laughing skit, you can get people that aren't necessarily at the level that we would ideally want them to be. And then if it's not working right, almost the awkwardness of the situation, if you really stare at them, the awkwardness makes them nervously laugh, which then becomes them going, oh, I'm now laughing, which then kind of compounds the suggestion. And then that becomes that leverage that gets them in there.
Yeah, 100%. I do like the laugh one, especially the one I used to do was get them to put their hand out with their fingers got a magnet and the nose got a magnet. When their finger touches their nose, they instantly get a funny joke and they're hilariously laughing and stuff. That one's always good. And
I think any suggestions that make people feel good are brilliant. Laughter is just it's such a great emotional release anyway, and it has such a great effect on an audience. When you see someone laughing uncontrollably, it makes you laugh uncontrollably as well. Everyone's saying fantastic. He's the man. That was amazing. I agree. Brilliant. Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
So what's next for you? I mean, COVID out the way. What's your next challenge? Where are you wanting to see your stage hypnosis go?
I'm trying to sort of get more of the holiday parks going. I'm regular up north. I've got a few bookings this year, but obviously, who knows with them. So yeah, the holiday. I've got a few talks, emails, been backwards and forwards with a few down on the coast, south coast. I actually done. We done a show for Park Dean, and that one went really, really well. And I handed out loads of cards, and again, COVID came along and went. Nobody, not yet. So I just got to try and get myself out there again, because one thing I really enjoyed. There weren't any of the hypnosis stuff I didn't enjoy. I enjoyed promoting, phone calls, getting the equipment, setting up, all of it. I love all of it. But I was really good at promoting myself, because I used to go get a blazer, go out, go to pubs, clubs, wherever, and make phone calls and go to holiday parks as well. Just walk into there and say I want to speak to the entertainment's manager or team, and just basically, and can't do that at the moment. It's really weird, because that's sort of been put on hold. So it's a strange thing.
It's a weird thing when it comes to a lot of people will do a stage hypnosis training or any type of hypnosis training, but stage hypnosis particularly. So they'll do the training, they'll pay the money, and then afterwards they go, oh, you can earn this much per show. And then they sit there and aggressively wait for the phone to ring. They don't go out there, and that's the most important thing. Is you've got to put in the legwork. You've got to network. 100%. You've got to speak to venues. There's a guy who's local here, Chris Lee, a great hypnotist, and that's exactly what he does. He's in venues. He's talking to managers. He's booking shows, because there's a lot of work out there. The problem is a lot of venues don't know what a stage hypnosis show is these days.
100%.
And they're sick to death of Lady Gaga tributes and Michael Bublé tributes and all the same. So you be the guy that's in there and goes, listen, I'm a stage hypnotist, and then do an impromptu demonstration. You've got yourself a booking.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. And that, the thing is, I remember going to a place not too far from where we live, and there was a guy there. He was a copper. And he said, oh, we don't really do things like that here, my friend. He said, but why don't you take this website down? And he gave me the website to all the working men's clubs. Literally, you just go on there. And that's what I did. I went phone call, phone call, phone call. And you'd ring 50 and maybe get 2 bookings, but that's fine, And you're 100% right. You ring these people and they're like, hypnotist. Oh, does that, explain to me what exactly, and they don't know exactly what it is. They think you're mind readers and, sorts. So yeah, that's the way to do it. You definitely got to go out and hunt for it, know.
And the working men's clubs, like you mentioned there, I don't know if they have anything similar in the States or Canada, but working men's clubs, especially northern ones, they're a great place to cut your teeth and learn how to manage a stage and an audience. Yeah. there's a phenomenal stage hypnotist, Christopher Caress. I'm sure you know who Chris is. Chris is when it comes to production value for a stage hypnosis show. Chris is the guy. Works on cruise ships, multi-million-pound productions. Adds that extra something to it. Chris is doing a training a couple of years ago, and he's kind of said to me, "I'm doing a course. Can I bring some of my students to your show?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but I don't know what the show is. It's not my show. It's one where I've been booked to perform." And I always say there's two types. There's ones where the venue books you, and there's one where the agent books you for a venue. Right. So I've told him where the venue is. I've got there myself at about 7:30, and the concert secretary comes to me and he goes, "Now then, what do you do then, lad?" And I've gone, I'm your hypnotist this evening. He's gone, "Oh, we've not had one of them for years." He went, "I was told you were a singer tonight. This lot in here, they're not going to be wanting no hypnosis show. They're waiting for a singer." And I thought, "Oh no."
That's all you need, or what?
Oh, literally, I'm on this little corner stage next to the toilets as well. So everyone's walking past into toilets. And then I just remember this school of hypnotists coming in to see an example of a stage hypnosis show. And I'm like, "Oh, dear me, this is hard work." So, it can be interesting.
Yeah, for sure. I think, clubs and pubs are with pubs and clubs, you find that they're so much more trickier because not only the setups are tighter, but also like the dynamics in there are different. Like people will spend their week at work. They all know each other. They're all having a friendly drink. Who's this guy coming in to try and make prats of us and stuff? That's how they see it, right?
I mean, the pub market is, don't get me wrong, it's a great way to learn stuff, is the pub market. But I don't think pubs necessarily do stage hypnosis well. Stage hypnosis for me should be on a stage. And Richard's kind of saying, "Can you tell me what a working men's club is?" And it's like a members only club, where in the 70s it was reduced to drinks prices for members, and they'd go and play bingo. What I think's great about them, despite the age range tend to be a lot older now, is they're one of the few places where you get a decent stage, and it's a great way to learn about managing a stage and sound and lights and stuff. So you can get some great shows from the working men's club.
Yeah, for sure. We had one around the corner here, and I was lucky because Jason Simmons came and done a show with me together. And the only problem with it was that we didn't have a curtain to close. It had a curtain, but it was broken. But it was a big, massive hall. But so me and Jason was up there setting up, like, well, everyone can see us. So it looked a bit tacky, but we still pulled it off. Jason was brilliant that night as well. I loved him. So it was, the working men's clubs can be really good if you get the right ones,
Yeah. And it's a great point you made there as well about setting up when people are in the room whilst you're setting up. It takes away some of the magic.
Yeah, for sure.
People in the room, because I want that magic. I want that mystery.
Yeah, that's right. Totally. Yeah, it's important.
That was a cracking venue, Jason says.
Yeah, unfortunately, Jason, that's been knocked down now. They've lost that club. It's gutting because we was trying to get some more gigs in there, but alas, it's gone. So end of that era.
I heard today there's a very popular entertainment venue in Blackpool called the Lindeen Hotel. It's always been an iconic entertainment cabaret venue in the north. That's now gone thanks to COVID. And so, unfortunately, I think we're going to lose some of the great venues because of COVID. Yeah,
it's great. It is a great shame.
Yeah. What's the future for stage hypnosis? Where do you see it going in the next 5 years?
Next 5 years, I see it being really progressively, slowly getting back into it. I think it's, at the moment it's hard because it's one of the singers, dancers, they can be on the stage on their own. So with this COVID rules, depending how long they keep this going, we don't know, obviously. Yeah. I think because with a hypnosis show, you can, because I remember hearing you last show that you done last week, you were saying that you'd done a show and it was really awkward with the masks and
you need that energy with them. But sometimes they just need a bit of encouragement to go into to really get immersed in the suggestion. Yeah, and when you can't touch them and you can't give them that encouragement, you can do a show, but you can do a 6 or a 7, and you'll be like me. I always aim for a 10. You know,
Right.
so to get a 6 or a 7 is not where I want it to be, because people enjoy the show, but you want audiences to be amazed, not, oh, that was okay considering the circumstances.
Yeah,
So,
100%. Yeah, agreed. It's, you know, and so I think because of that situation with the COVID, it's going to slow it down, but I think it might give it a patch where it's going to be missed.
Yeah.
And when it does start coming back into play, because I think a lot of the old school hypnotists might be thinking of handing in their reining in their boot, then just quitting and just sort of like doing something completely different. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe this might be the opportunity for some of them to drop out. But then I think there'll be a quiet patch, and hopefully, when we get back into it, it will be, you know, it will come back with vengeance. You know,
Yeah.
hopefully, any luck.
Julie says, Dylan, you need to hit the theatres.
Hit the theatres, yeah. When they open, Julie.
Yeah.
Give them a go. Yeah. I've got their numbers, an email. Yeah.
I always ask guests this as well, and it's good for you as well, because I know that you were in a similar market. If you had 2 stage hypnosis books that were an influence on you, what would they be?
Okay, sure. I've got, hang on. There's this one here. This is the Rory Z one.
Yeah.
It's the first one I bought, and that was so I bought that back in April, I believe, of 2015. Read that one, and it's an easy read. You get all the info that you want if you want to become a beginner. It's great for beginners. Really helped me. Add in with the YouTube videos that you watch and everything else, which is what reason why I went on one of his courses.
Yeah.
And the other one is the guy who trained my partner, which is Steve Adams. This one here. So not sure if you get that one, but again, that's it's got some great techniques in it and some good old school ways as well, which tried and true. So, and they're the 2 books that I've found really helped me, and also speaking to Rory as well is really helpful for guidance and stuff like that, because as you know, you can never stop learning. There's always something new to learn and to you know, put into your repertoire of knowledge of doing it.
And it's not that, it's how people respond and people's behaviors change and evolve. So what might work 5 years ago won't work as well now, and it's always changing and evolving. So yeah.
I think that's right with the rabbits.
One of the things I love about what we do. Sure. Brilliant. So thank you very much for being a guest on the show. I've enjoyed having you on. Everyone else seems to have enjoyed having you on as well. So yeah,
thanks for having me, Grant. It's been a pleasure.
When this all sorts itself out, we can get a Costa coffee somewhere.
100%. Yeah, I'm up for that. Yeah, but look forward to it as well. That'd be
brilliant. Nice one. All right then, Dylan, you take care.
Cheers, Grant. Take care, mate. Thank you.